Consider it an air safety secret. Once a day in the United States, an aircraft makes an unscheduled landing because of smoke in the cockpit or the cabin. News 8's Byron Harris discovered where there's smoke, there's a potential airline disaster. And its potential, the FAA continues to ignore. Tonight, News 8 investigates.
What kind of problem are you having? Smoke in the cabin.
ValueJet Flight 592 crashes in the Everglades. Smoke in the cockpit.
Get the small stuff!
Swiss Air Flight 111 crashes in the Atlantic.
Pilot indicated he had smoke in the cockpit.
More than a dozen accidents, 863 people killed worldwide since 1970. All involve smoke in the cockpit and cabin.
That an in-flight smoke event is the highest stress level event that a pilot can face.
Oh, we've got some smoke. Okay, smoke and fire of unknown origin. Mask and goggles, donned 100%.
This is a flight simulator, but it's a close replica of a real cockpit, where safety hinges on those at the controls seeing their instruments.
Fire on board, declaring an emergency, sir.
At more than 400 miles an hour, danger develops fast.
There, can you see any fire?
If smoke fills a cockpit without safety devices, there's one probable outcome for the pilots and the people in the cabin behind them. They'll die.
Speed check, flaps 20.
As the cockpit fills with smoke, the pilots can lose their orientation to the ground and their position in the air.
The propensity for that spiraling out of control is unfortunately very high.
Pilots have to don their oxygen masks, struggle to see their instruments through the smoke, and run a lengthy emergency checklist to pinpoint the fire, all while looking for the nearest runway.
When we're over land, we go to the nearest suitable airport and point of time and get that airplane on the ground. In the air is no time to fight and assess fires.
This simulator and approximately 2,000 corporate jets worldwide are equipped with an Emergency Vision Assurance System, or EVAS. It basically is a clear inflatable passageway which allows the pilots an unobstructed view of their instruments through thick smoke. A small pump keeps the passageway inflated for up to 4 hours. The FAA admits in its own memos that continuous smoke in a cockpit is reasonably probable, but it's never required aircraft manufacturers to come up with a solution.
It's been under consideration for quite a while.
Why no action?
You'd have to ask the FAA. I really don't know.
We did ask the FAA. They declined to be interviewed on camera. Instead, they issued a statement that says, existing regulations and procedures are effective means of maintaining safety when smoke enters the cockpit. Current regulations require that a cockpit can be cleared of smoke in less than 3 minutes. But pilots say it can take 15 minutes to an hour to find out where smoke is coming from. And News 8 has discovered that the FAA has equipped its own airplanes with EVAS. These 4 executive jets for FAA officials have the equipment, but the FAA continues to permit airlines to fly without it.
It's been a frustrating time. It's been a long haul, if you will.
Bert Wfaa invented the system 2 decades ago. He says it has saved lives in corporate jets like these. And he actually filed a complaint against the FAA because of what he says is its inconsistency over pilot smoke.
There's a fundamental regulation in place. Since the beginning of flight, the pilots have to see at all times.
JetBlue has installed EVAS on its 100 Airbuses voluntarily. Dallas-based Southwest Airlines says it knows about EVAS, but that its pilots have smoke goggles and that the system is not in the airline's future. Fort Worth-based American says it tested EVAS in 1999 and decided against buying it. Airline analysts say the reason no big airline has the equipment and why the FAA hasn't required it is money.
Our biggest problem right now with today's FAA and today's administrator is a feeling that the whole industry needs to be nurtured in operating on the cheap. And the FAA itself has been trying to operate the whole system on the cheap.
So how much does it cost to see through smoke with EVAS? About the same as 1 pane of an aircraft windshield. Advocates say that's a small price to pay to avoid the alternative. Byron Harris, Channel 8 News.
After 4.5